Good to be back. Thank you for having us. I mean, this is my second time here, and it's amazing how this has grown. It is so ambitious, and I think sometimes things can seem even more impressive if you do not attend, but just follow it on social media and website, but this is not the case here. I think you can go and sit while I start speaking, because I feel alone, because we are BEDA, and we are, as briefly introduced, a European design organization of design centers and design associations. So I think through our members, we have never tried to calculate it, but we represent thousands of designers. We are more than 50 members across 28 European countries. And as I said, we are a fine lady that was born in 1969. And we always had sort of fundamentally the same task, and that is, as we said, for design to be embraced as a driver for European sustainable growth and prosperity. And we keep on going, and we are happy that Bayern Design, German Design Council, and Deutsche Design Tag are members. See, that is a vibrant community in itself. We have been invited here to bring a European perspective. I mean, Germany is Europe as well, but outside of Germany. So my colleague Halla from Iceland, Kike from Spain, and Furkan from Turkey. My example for this is this project called Desire, Designing the Irresistible Circular Society. This is one of the lighthouse projects under the new European Bauhaus. Desire is 28 partners across Europe, where we looked into how can we really use design as a methodology to create societies, cities that become more circular, and how can we use the fundamental power of design that is making things irresistible. So you just want it. It's non-negotiable. And we had worked with different cities in Riga, in Amsterdam, 2 ones in Italy, Mr. Mancini, it's in Milan and Turin, and 3 in Denmark. Anyway, we started out by saying, so what does it really mean to design irresistible circular societies? What should be the principles that be adapted in transforming our cities, transforming our buildings, our living environments? And we co-created in our community these 5 principles: belonging, aesthetics, biodiversity, circularity, and movement, understanding that is a movement, and in order to grow the ecosystem and mobilize people. But community involving in how to design a future park. But a lot of these buildings were to be demolished because they were ghettos, and in return that need to be parks. So how do you do that? So this project was about involving school kids, and it's amazing how they were co-created with. So they were building prototypes of their visions and their dreams of the future community, because they are the future. And a professional design agency and architects, they took all the prototypes and turned them into professional visuals that would go into tender processes. So see the kids being taken serious in that way of just building things and having professionals to transform it. Not that their prototypes were not professional, but just understanding what is the system we are working in and how is that going. And I think by the end of the project, it was a long project, and there are so many resources, too many resources, also too many tools. Anyway, design can do a lot in the way we do it, and the principle turned out to be crucial as a DNA. But what we learned in order to design vibrant communities is the importance of building and maintain the trust.
So, as for my city, Valencia, I'm going to talk about design, unexpected events, and community. These last 5 years have been really hectic. In 2019, we were elected World Design Capital 2022. It was, again, the outcome of a very tight community. But then, after we could enjoy our year, we had the COVID pandemic broke out in the entire world, and we had our first opportunity to test our resilience. So the team behind the World Design Capital started this project, Esto Pasará, which means this will pass, in order to compile and make visible a lot of different initiatives from the design scene and around the COVID. I would say that if we learn just one thing from this experience is the importance of taking care of our mental health. We finally had our great year complete with vaccines and all. We had Ezio Mancini with us as well. And then, as some of you may know, last October, a brutal storm brought up to 500 liters per square meter of rainfall. But this time, the design community was ready to react, because design is about looking forward and planning.
My name is Halla Helgadóttir, and I'm the managing director of a platform called Iceland Design and Architecture. And thank you for having me, inviting me here. I've known about this event for many years and always wanted to come. So I'm happy to be here. I'm going to start with the community building that we have had actually in Iceland, and then I'm going to talk a bit about where we come from and these dramatic events we've had in Iceland and how we have dealt with that. So the Iceland Design Center was actually founded in 2008, and this is our role. We are a bit of a special platform because we are directly owned by associations of designers. So we are 9 associations own this platform, and like 1,000 architects, fashion designers, product, graphic, and so on, own the platform, which makes us a bit of a free and sort of dynamic. We are supported by government, but we also have to earn a lot of our own budgets. We live on lava, you know. The economic crash in 2008, we were actually founded that year. I started on the 1st of April. The crash came 6th of October. And that was actually, in retrospect, a very good time to start a platform like that. Then we come to the eruptions. So after 800 years of silence, people don't know this. The Reykjavik Peninsula was silent as a volcanic area for 800 years. So none of us expected this. It started with earthquakes, and then we had these eruptions, and they're coming again and again. They're actually located in a quite good area in the beginning, but Grindavík, as you see there, is a community, an important 3,000 people community with fisheries and because we live from fisheries and tourism and energy, so it's an important place, and of course 3,000 people live there. So we've had a lot of eruptions, earthquakes, and finally, and luckily, most of it is far from infrastructures because we have a very important power plant there as well. So, like you see, due to the volcanic eruptions, the town was evacuated, and only a small number of people remained. Only one person died, but that was through 74 houses were ruined, and nobody lives there anymore. They want to go back, and there's a lot of debate, and now it's being developed. How should we do it? And their designers, architects, and engineers come into the equation. The reaction was, like you see here, building like walls around, and actually many of the infrastructures have been saved through these walls. We designers, we were sort of like, call us in right now, because they were actually just drawing the lines on the dust on the cars, how to put them forth. But we see that this is, like you were saying here, we need to plan ahead. And there are lots of dangerous craters under this town that have yet to be explored. So these barriers to divert the lava is what we are working on. And there are lots of experiments. This is the Blue Lagoon, and then we have the energy plant there. How to plan this ahead, how to use it. And we have had avalanches all over and also built great barriers for that. And these have been designed as parks for the people in the city, in the plants.
I am Furkan. I'm the chairman of Türkiye Design Council. Like all of you, we're trying to foster design and use design to enable to create great things in our country. So 2 years ago, we had an earthquake, very bad earthquake in the southeastern of Turkey. It has impacted 11 cities. And it's almost destroyed one distinctive city. I want to tell you about the story of that city and what we have been doing in the past 2 years. So the city of Hatay. Hatay is actually has a 5,000-year-old history. It used to be a Roman city, a Byzantine city. It used to be an Ottoman capital. And then after the modern republic, the city has layers. It was the first, the St. Peter has established its first church. The first mosque has been built here. It's important for 3 religions, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. So it has a very diverse community, and that community has very deep roots. And that city is destroyed for the 7th time in the history. And before the earthquake, there is this huge cultural and gastronomical culture in the city. It was very vibrant already. And at one night, with the 7.8 earthquake, the earthquake has destroyed the 90% of the city. So, but there is this challenge of designing after an earthquake. It's a tabula rasa situation. If you will be very fast, you will end up with a lower quality urban neighborhood, urban texture, which ends up being no city and no culture. It's just a pile of buildings. But if you're being slow, you can lose the population. So you need to be decisive, fast, and you need to make the right choices with the community. But what we have learned, what you mentioned, building trust is the key to make these kinds of things happen. So we recorded our every meeting. And this is the result. We worked with 53 firms, including Foster and Partners, Bureau Happold, BRK Ingalls, DB Architects, came, and the best architectural offices of our country. We designed the city center. We designed the historical city center as well. And we increased green spaces 3 times. We increased the public buildings with the help of design by maintaining the same amount of housing and trade units. Thank you.
So if you had all the power in the world, I think, yeah. But
can we ask for
what is your must-win battle?
Can we ask for the Ministry of Design? I mean, design should be everywhere because we can help everywhere.
I think we should, we're competing so much in this world. I think we need to compete in other things than we are now. Just put money aside and try to compete in quality and humanity and and I think we need to establish a balance between disciplines, and I think we need to have all the voices around the table, and I think that's the challenge for us designers. We're called in too late, decisions have been made, and I'm not talking only about us, it's also the humanists or many other disciplines like scholars and have just the same problem. So I think balance and cross-disciplinary work is the key.
I think the
balance.
Being invited in too late is interesting, and now as I approaching becoming older, I'm allowed to tell old stories. So I have an anecdote actually looking at Tim Brown coming into the door, because one of the first things I did for the Danish Design Center was to plan a study tour, I told you. for the Danish ministry and leading design agency CEOs. And we wanted to go to the US to learn how to create design competence clusters and visiting different world-famous design agencies and Stanford, etc. And we went to visit IDEO, and Tim was there, and Barry Cates, and others. And I remember one of the Danish design agency CEOs, he looked at the panel, and he said, so why are you always getting the right clients and that allow you to do the best design? And I don't know if you recall it, because it stayed with me forever. At that time, he said, don't get this wrong. Every time we have a new client, they come too late. They come with a technology, and they ask us to make it look beautiful. And we accept this opportunity, of course, and we use this process to learn each other and to involve together. And I think maybe in that room you said teach, when should design be invited into the process, which is, of course, is from the beginning. So I think that is also the learning here that, and I think this is maybe preaching to the choir in here, but it's never too late. It's always an opportunity, and I think never be ignored or frustrated. That is the wrong way. It is a matter of taking every opportunity with a humor and a smile and optimism, and know the superpower, I think. Okay, so thank you.